Scotty Neville, big send-off for him on the weekend. How was that? Always getting around him.
Yeah, look, it was a really nice moment, to be honest. Obviously, you know, we wanted to get a result for Scotty and send him out a winner, and we weren't able to do that as a group. But you know, I think as a club, it was a really it was a really nice gesture, and it was nothing less than what he deserves. He's been a great servant to the club. Hell of a career to get to 300 in the A-Leagues. It's a feat that not many players are able to do. And for him to come back from his ACL and kind of get back to playing football was you know, it's kind of testament to the character that he is. But now his focus is other things. You can see there he's got his wife there, pregnant, baby on the way, and I'm sure he's going to be a great dad. And it was a really nice moment for our club and our fans to be able to see him off properly.
You said the fellas were a little bit off the pace on the weekend. How are you switching back on a quick turnaround?
Yeah, I just felt like there was a flatness to us in a way that was disappointing, because obviously the Sydney game was the exact opposite, and we had a really top performance, probably our best of the year. If I'm honest, I don't think the weekend off did us any favours. In the end, it was almost like we trained and trained and trained, and kind of the moment, you know, ended up becoming bigger than what it needed to be. The nice thing about this Wellington game is obviously short turnaround. We want to put in a better performance, you know, and we intend to go there and win.
How are the lads? You got any injuries? Anyone that might not be travelling over?
Look, we've got a few concerns, which is, you know, difficult. Obviously, that's a difficult part of the short turnaround, but. You know, I'm very big on backing these young ones in as well, and there's a few young ones that are chomping at the bit for more opportunity, so we'll probably look to reward a few of them and spice it up a little bit, and you know, see how the senior ones pull up.
What's that been like when you give a young bloke a go like that? It must be so chuffed just to get out there.
Look, it's an absolute pleasure and a privilege. It's one of the most enjoyable parts of my job, is developing young talent and trying to help young aspiring football players reach their dreams and goals and ambitions. I think about like a Thomas Waddingham. When I met him, obviously he had a good FA Cup run, but he'd only scored one goal, one A-League goal when I got to the club, and wasn't starting, wasn't in the 18, and it was a really difficult time for the club. And you know, I threw him in the deep end and watched him kind of fight his way to the level, and to be a part of that process and then see him go and get a move to Portsmouth is huge. And we've got other ones, you know, guys like Lucas Harrington's made massive steps in a really short space of time. Quinny McNichol, Jacob Brissett, and there's more, plenty of youngsters, and it's a really nice process to try and help them get to the level. And it will put the club in good stead as well. I think that's really important through this transitional phase and through this difficult period. You know, every club has its moment when it needs to suffer, and it has to suffer, and it's just often through to a lot of circumstances that are sometimes out of your control. But having a clear vision of building an identity around a core group of players and bringing through some young ones is really important, because it will put us in good stead down the track.
Obviously, yeah, we need another Tom now. Is there any young fellas coming through the grades that you've got your eye on?
Yeah, look, there is. Obviously in the number 9 position as well. Look, we haven't shied away from the fact that we want to try and attract a number 9 to the club. You know, we've got a few things in the pipeline. I'm working really hard on that to try and get the right player in the right profile. But yeah, in other positions, definitely in the wider areas, you know, young Amenatides and young Jacob Brissett, Pearson at left fullback, and then some of our own players, you guys like Lucas and Quinny McNichol and these guys, we feel like their progression has been actually very positive, and we feel like the club's going to reap the rewards of that as they grow into their roles and grow into their moments. I think Lucas is a good example on the weekend. I didn't think he was at his best. And the goal, if you look at the moment off the corner, Lucas's middle zone, he kind of gets attracted by the run, and it's a small detail which in the end might cost us a goal. And that's the suffering that you get from playing, you know, a guy at 17 years old and leading the back line. But we'll reap the rewards of that, of those hardships down the track. And as he learns with each moment and each experience, we get stronger. And hopefully we can make people like him the backbone of this team and this club moving forward.
Got a guy like Costa this weekend who's been pretty good at taking advantage of those little lapses. How do you sort of stop him?
Yeah, look, Costa's he's someone I know well. He's a good friend. He's a top footballer, very experienced. He preys on any weakness that he can kind of smell. He's got a great instinct in and around goal, and obviously very quick, very dangerous in transition. But we'll have a plan to make sure we try and keep him quiet and nullify him as best we can. It certainly won't be one person's job. It has to be a collective, like I say, because he kind of he definitely plays on the spaces that open up. So we have to make sure that we're very compact and don't give him those spaces. But he's a hard one to contain, and it's a great challenge for us.
Transfer window nearly at the end, I guess. Are we close? Is there something coming up, or could we possibly not pick up anything?
No, look, we'll probably pick up one or two, you know, in the next week or so. And yeah, it is getting towards the back end, but sometimes these things take time. You know, if a player's at another club, there's a process to try and get him out of that club. But yeah, we want to bring in a 9 if we can, and we want to probably strengthen at the back. And we feel like we've got a few targets that we feel are the right fit for us right now. But definitely this window's one that you don't want to, even in our situation, you don't want to panic and you don't want to start, you know, just chasing the wrong type of players and the wrong type of characters. Yeah, it has to be the right profile, the right athletic profile. It has to be the right technical profile. It has to be the right character. And I think that's very important. But in the off season, obviously, there's going to be a lot of movement for us, and that's going to be a very big window. So we're also making, you know, inroads into making sure we get the right targets for next season as well.